Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone. My name is Shofi Nindia Emely. My student ID number is 2019105010 and 4. I'm student of Urban and Regional Planning, Faculty of Engineering, University of Jember.
In this section, I will present about reading the urban planning in Indonesia, a journey towards sustainable development by Wisnu Setiawan. Table of contents. The first is introduction. The second is method. The third is results. And the last is recommendation. Introduction. The discussion about urban environment often touches upon not only development at an urban setting, but also in a rural environment as well. Sometimes the discussion presents both in different terminology like urban planning, town planning, country planning, city development or outer city, and village development. In fact, the setting of suburbs and outer city often indicates a continuous influence to the urban center development, for example, related to the issues of urbanization. In short, the definition of urban development often indicates that the issue of development involves urban planning for both physical and social elements, as well as development at urban and rural environment at the same time. Urban planning can take various issues and level of development into its discussion. The development of urban environment has become a popular global critical interest since that the population of urban area had reached 50.3% of the world's total population. In response to this, urban planning practice has begun to actively promote sustainable urban planning, particularly after the Second World Urban Forum in 2004. Following this effort, a number of guidelines has been set out to achieve better, safer, and resilient urban environment. The current development practice, however, sometimes finds some difficulties to achieve sustainable development, including in developing countries' context. This paper attempts to present the transformation of planning practice both in general context and Indonesia. In the context of Indonesia, this paper summarizes preliminary reading on urban planning practices from post-colonial era to the current planning practices. Using chronological interpretative approach on the literatures on urban planning and development, this paper also aims to better understand the challenge of planning practice in order to achieve sustainable development from time to time. And the next is method. This paper attempts to provide preliminary discussion of how urban planning practice in Indonesia has transformed to embrace the issue of sustainable development. It explores some readings relevant to the planning practice in contemporary contexts from the post-colonial period until the recent Reformation movement, using chronological interpretative approach on some available literatures on urban planning and development. And the third is results. The history of planning practice in Indonesia indicates that it has a tendency to move from physical development to procedural development. Urban developments in this country mostly focus on resolving the problem at the very small area or community level. It is lacking a comprehensive perspective of urban development over a longer time. The planning practice in Indonesia finds some challenge in adopting the idea of sustainable development, particularly from social sustainability point of view. The history of planning indicates that planning practice in this country experienced difficult situation at some points, particularly during times of political change. One major change happened around the time of the Independence Day when the governance fell from the Dutch to indigenous Indonesia leaders. During this era, urban development tended to focus on a reconstruction program. And the last is recommendation. The planning system needs to involve more stakeholders with particular interests coming from the public and private sectors. Improvements in urban planning can be made by focusing on infrastructure and settlement, improving safety and security, encouraging a supportive socio-economic atmosphere, providing better governance, and empowering community and local participation. Development practice needs to overcome political, economic, cultural, and physical challenge in order to achieve a more sustainable development across the country. That's all the presentation about journal. Thank you for your attention and goodbye. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.